Alright, first and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world refers to as Jesus Christ. His name is Yahweh Shai in the Hebrew. Welcome to another TOC Sabbath Day class. All praises to the Most High. Alright, and a lot been going on within the nation of Israel, within the community, within the quote-unquote Israelite community. A lot been going on. With regard to the latest alleged scandal, I won't say much on it right now, right? There's still some information. I'm pretty sure most of you have already come across this information, browsing the interwebs, browsing the internets, right? Scandal in Israel. Prominent leader, just to give some context, prominent leader within the community of the Israelites for a school, a very prominent school, was caught up in some very questionable offenses. All right? Like I said, I won't go into that at this moment. I will give some statements on it, however. But what I will say about it is this, right? For everybody who's been talking about it and murmuring about it and opining about it, understand this. That man wasn't given a trial. That man got put on blast. That man, now I'm not saying the allegations are not heinous and very questionable and in need of counsel. But here's the thing, there's a protocol in which you go about things, right? In order to determine sin, you must have a what? Who can tell me? You must have a counsel. The counsel determines, in other words, let's put it this way. You must have a trial. Can they throw you over the wall of the prison without them having a trial first? You must have a trial. The evidence from both sides. You can't just have things coming out from one side. That's why there's defense and that's why there's prosecution. To determine, to make a rightful determination. That's what the scripture said. Hear both sides. Now understand the brother, he made a response video. He didn't really go into a lot. But again, a council was supposed to be had by the elders, whichever elders preside over them. Then a determination could be made as to what is the sin, what are the offenses, and how are they going to be paid for or reconciled for. And whatever actionable course, whatever course of action thereafter comes. Now, should there be course of action after such allegations if it turns out to be that these things were actual, factual? Now, there were some things that I know for a fact they're, actual and factual, but again, I don't think we have all the information. We have some information based on what one of the brothers from his organization decided to put out on the internet. But again, you didn't give them man no trial. Everybody playing judge and jury and juror and executioner. And everybody done cast forth their judgment. And you didn't give them man no trial. Let's keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Alright, Israel? But I will speak on it at a later time, a later date. But let's get focused here on what we're doing. We good on the audio? We good on the audio? Yes, all praises. So, this class is geared towards the brothers who you just can't seem to get your wife in order. You don't know why. It's beyond you. You're not sure as to, you're wondering, is it me? Is it her? You're trying to figure it out. You don't know, right? Now, disclaimer, this is more so geared, now it can apply for both persons in and out the truth, yes. But this is more so geared towards those who are endeavoring to be in the truth, but it can apply across the board. Yes? All praises. So, here's why your wife doesn't submit. We'll get straight into it, all right? So the first thing is you lack leadership, you lack ambition, you have no clear vision or direction in life, you're indecisive, and you always want her to lead. Your work ethic is poor. Right? Now give me 1 Corinthians 11 and verse 3. 1 Corinthians 11 and 3. So, to the brothers, please write these down so you can have what you call like a cheat sheet or a list of things so that you know if you're hitting these nails on the head, then you know you're doing the things that you need to do, or at least the core things. These are just some of the main things. Now understand this. This list was compiled, right, from sources gathered from the internet. Women share the same sentiments. They agree upon this. So this is not just Cap saying this. This is information that has been what? Proven and verified, and sisters themselves in the truth have agreed that these are the top reasons. Top. Now there's more reasons, yes, but these are the top. So brothers, you want to write these down because these are the top. You gotta listen when the women speak. You gotta listen when the sisters speak. So this ain't just Cap saying this. This comes directly from what the sisters have been saying for a very long time now, and men have not been listening. So men, I hope y'all listening. All right, good. 1 Corinthians 11 and 3.
Reading from the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 3. But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of every woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God.
Good, so there's a hierarchy. Okay? God, Christ, the man, the woman, the children. But the thing is, you lack leadership skills. Right? You don't know how to lead. She's looking to you for leadership, but there's none. So in her mind, you're not fit to lead her. In her mind, you're not fit. You're not a right fit. Right? You have no clear vision or direction in life. Like, if you was asked the question, hey brother, what's your 5-year plan from, and sisters, if you're unmarried, and you're seeking to prove a man, always ask him this question. What is your 5-year plan or your short-term plan between now and let's say the next 5 years? If he like he don't know, run. If he don't have a clear direction even for his life, how he gonna lead your life? He can't. There's no direction in his life. Y'all follow me? Good. So give me Proverbs 22 and verse 9. Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 9. So brothers, I hope you're out there listening. Audio? We not good? We not good on the audio? You're not hearing it? You're not? It's not coming through. So you're hearing the free range audio around. So see, yeah. Amen. That's free range. Come on, brothers. Go straight into the thing. Y'all don't know the difference between what free range audio sound like and what audio from the mixer sound like? All right, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. All right. Let us know if we're good. I think we were going to Proverbs 22, right? We were going to Proverbs 22 and verse 9, right? Let's bring that out. Let's bring that out.
Ready for the book of Proverbs, chapter 22 and verse 9. He that had a bountiful eye shall be blessed. For he
Sorry,
giveth-
sorry, not 22 and 9, sorry. Apologies. 22 and verse 29. My apologies. So verse 29, correct.
Reading from the book of Proverbs, chapter 22 and verse 29.
Uh-huh.
Seest thou a diligent man in his business?
So you see a diligent man in his business, right? Come on.
He shall stand before kings.
He gonna stand before kings. Read on.
He shall not stand before mean men.
So this is a man of action. He knows how to get there. He's an actionable man. Your wife sees that. Your wife sees that you have not only plans, because, hey, we got to talk about the brothers who just got plans. I got friends from back in high school. They're what you call dreamers. Idealists and dreamers. They're still dreaming. Some of them still dreaming. They got, mind you, they got great ideas. But these ideas, what happened to them? They never lifted up off the ground. They said the graveyard is one of the most valuable places. Who could tell me why? Because many men died with ideas and the ideas never lifted up off the ground. So brothers, don't just be a dreamer and an idealist. Your wife gonna notice. And if you're one of those brothers who ever so often you get this bright idea but there's no action behind it, guess what? After a while it's gonna sound great. When your wife young and naive, she's gonna be like, yeah baby, that sounds great. Some years pass, guess what she's gonna start to realize? This man ain't about nothing. All he do is what? Talk. He's a dreamer. Brothers, be an actionable man. Don't be a dreamer. Don't be an idealist. Okay? Really put actions, words to actions, or actions to words. Good. Give me Ecclesiastes 9 and verse 10. So don't be out here with a poor work ethic. She's going to notice that. And she's not going to respect you as well. This is one of the reasons why your wife just won't submit. You just lack leadership. Read that, Ecclesiastes 9 and 10.
Reading from the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9 and verse 10.
Uh-huh.
Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might.
It says, do it with thy might. Don't think about it with thy might. A lot of brothers, they just think up great things, but they put no action behind it. This says, do. Do it with your might. Come on.
For there is no work, no device, no knowledge, no wisdom in the grave whither thou goest.
See that? So the grave is one of the most valuable places. Why? Many men died and they never got their ideas off the ground. Don't be one of those brothers. Let your wife see that you're a man of action. When she see you're a man of action and you get results, she puts some respect on your name. She puts some respect on the way she treats you, respects you, submits to you. A woman ain't gonna submit to a man that ain't got no actionable actions behind his plans. You understand that? So a lot of men think, Brother Daniel, having plans and planning this and planning that, that's what women want to hear. No. Sisters, can I get a show of hands? Which one you prefer? A man just talks about his plans or a man that is actually making action behind your plans? You want to see the actions, right? Right. You want to see the action. Not, oh baby, we're going to do this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to do it. After a while, she going to begin to be like, well, it's been about 10 years this man talking about he going to do this and we ain't moving nowhere, we ain't doing nothing, we just in the same old. You understand that? Good. So, reason number 2. So again, for those of you that's just joining us, we're going over reasons why your wife will not submit to you. And for those brothers who think, well, my wife submits to me, she does. But, okay, she don't submit fully. This is for you too. She might submit 40%, but then 60% she don't submit. She might submit even 70%, but she doesn't submit the other 30%. This is for you too. So the second reason is you display weakness and insecurity. Women don't like weak and insecure men. I'm going to be the first to tell y'all straight up and down right now. When a woman sees weakness and insecurity in a man, it signals a red flag to her, right? So if you're constantly seeking validation instead of standing firm, that chases her away. You understand that? Let's say you are someone who you overreact very emotionally. You're always crashing out. You're always whining. You're always having some pity party for yourself, or you want others to throw you a pity party. Women look at you like, wait, who's the woman here? Me or him? Crash out bros. Crash out kings. You know what I mean by crashing out, Brother Daniel? You don't have a handle on your emotions, so every chance that you get, you fly off the handle. You overreact. Right? Every moment, every chance you get is a chance to overreact. Crash out. Women and sisters, even in the world, let me tell y'all brothers something right now. If you're a crash out king, stop now. You know, a lot of brothers, soldier go by, think women are very, like, taken aback. Like, ooh, he very masculine. No, they see you as very boyish, very immature when you're a crash out king. It means to her, you don't have a grip on the reality and a grip on the situation. And if something were to go wrong in the family, you would lose it. It can't be both of y'all going crazy in the house. Somebody got to ground the family. Somebody has to keep the family calm, keep the family together, keep the family, you understand, be the nucleus that glues the family together. If you crashing out and she is reacting or overreacting emotionally, that's the both of y'all running around like a chicken with the head cut off. You understand that? You got to be able to lead with confidence. Stop being a crash out king, brothers. Stop. She sees it as a weakness in you. And let me be honest with you. I'm going to make a statement right now. Most, if not all, crash out kings and crash out bros, the women cheat on them. The women, and if not now, if the women ain't currently, so brother, you're watching this right now. Yeah, you might want to look over at your woman right now. If you're a crash out king, you lose it easily. You flip out, you crash out, you're always wilding out. You're lying in the house. Right? If you're not currently getting cheated on currently right now, which you probably are, she's going to cheat on you because she's looking for a secure man who is in control of his emotions. And that's why she looks at you with disdain and disrespect, because she just cannot respect or give her respect over to a man that has no control over his emotions. You understand? You're a crash out king. You're easily controlled by others. You let others dictate how you're feeling, how you're acting, how you're lashing out. Give me Proverbs 16 and 32. Proverbs 16 and 32. So brothers, we going through these. I hope brothers is writing these down. And again, these things were compiled by sisters. This ain't Cap saying this. Cap is just being a vessel or a mouthpiece for those who don't have a voice. So I'm going to bring it out for them. All right? Proverbs 16 and 32.
Ready for the book of Proverbs, chapter 16 and verse 32. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city.
Brothers, you got to be able to rule your spirit, man. Is it possible that you just can't not crash out? Is that possible? Like, I'm wondering, for the crash out bros that are watching right now, is it possible that you just can't control your spirit? You don't have a grip on your spirit, that you must crash out, or you must allow your emotions to be dictated by others, right? And I'm be honest with you, a lot of crash out bros, they were raised predominantly by their mothers, predominantly. Even if the father was around, they're raised predominant, and the relationship that they have with their mother controls them. Crash out bros, yeah. Check it out on that level. Their mother really controls their emotions and how they feel. They will put their mother and what she say over whatever the wife is saying, because they don't have any control over their own emotions. They allow their mother to dictate, direct, Even when the wife is the one saying, hey, babe, let's, oh no, I got to check in with my moms first. Let me see what my mother's saying first. Brother, the scriptures said to leave and cleave. Leave your mother and your father, cleave unto your wife. And that's why she kind of is reserved. She looks at you with a disdain because you can't control your emotions and you allow your emotions to be dictated and directed by others. And a lot of men, not all, but a lot of men who are in that predicament, their mother is also behind a lot of the control. Because that's who they predominantly was raised by. They love their mother more than their wife. And that's just crazy. You're not following the scriptures if you out here loving your mother more than your wife or regarding your mother more than your wife. I was in the supermarket one time in Value Mart, just minding my business. This brother on the phone, he worked inland revenue. He was like, yeah, because you only get one mother, but you could get another wife. So when it comes to mommy, why no, she's the queen of my life and I put her up. That brother is a worldly brother. And that gonna be one of the brothers, like they say here in the Caribbean, he get bite. He get bite or he get bun. Because she's looking at you like, okay, that's how you deal with me in the relationship. Well, I'm going to deal with this other brother over here who has it more together. All right, bro? So you got to stop being crash out kings. Stop being led by your emotions. Stop letting your mother dictate and rule in your... Imagine that. Your mother don't live in your house, but she's still living in the house. She's still directing what goes on in your house. But she ain't lived there, right? Give me the book of Jeremiah 2 and verse 33. Jeremiah 2 and 33.
Reading from the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2 and verse 33. Why trimmest thou thy ways to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy way. So
your wife noticed very much that you're not resolute, you don't stand on business. If you're not standing on business, your wife notices. She notices you're very weak, you're insecure, you're trimming your ways to seek love, right? She notices all these things, even though she may not say it. She may not have a conversation with you about it. She notices every moment of it, that you trim your ways to seek love, you're trimming your ways to seek validation from others, and you're not very resolute. In her mind, you can't lead her properly. And even if she does submit 70%, that other 30% is the reason why she's not going to submit fully. We're going into some of the reasons. All right? Give me the book of Proverbs 25 and verse 28. Proverbs 25 and verse 28. We're going into some of the reasons. And for some sisters who are watching this class right now, they're going to be like, a light bulb just goes off in their head like, oh, wow. I'm just realizing why I can't really give 100% submittance to this man. A light bulb will go off in your head, sis. All right? Even if you didn't see it before. Read that for me. Proverbs 25 and verse 28.
Reading from the book of Proverbs, chapter 25 and verse 28. As though that he that had no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls.
See that? So you have no rule over your own spirit. You can't control yourself. You must always give in to crashing out, wilding out, flipping out, going off the handle, being a lion in the house, right? Putting other people's validation, even over your own wife's validation. That is crazy, right? Don't do that, bros. Ecclesiastes 7 and 9. If you have no rule over your own spirit, it's like a city without no walls. Anyone can come and trample. Anyone can come and just rile you up. Anyone can just come and make you crash out. Your wife is thinking in her mind, wait. If you could crash out so easy, But what's going to happen to us down the road when we're supposed to be like something happens and I'm looking to you for, to be a pillar of strength in that moment where I'm unsure. What you going to do in that situation? You're going to probably crash out, brother. Read that for me.
Read it from the book.
Go ahead.
Of Ecclesiastes,
Right.
chapter 7 and verse 9.
Come on.
Be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry.
Don't be hasty. Don't be so quick to crash out. Don't be so quick to wild out and flip out. Read on.
For anger resteth in the bosom of fools.
Someone who gets angry very easy, they just flip out just like this. Right? Loose cannon, live wire. It says in their heart. Right? Folly rested in the bosom of fools. You understand that? So, brother, if you're a crash out king, you're a crash out bro, simply the Bible is relegating you to be a fool. You're not wise. All right? Take it, eat it, change. Give me the book of Ecclesiasticus in the King James Bible Apocrypha, the book of Sirach, chapter 5 and verse 2. All right, the book of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus in the King James Bible Apocrypha. We're going to chapter 5 and verse 2. Okay, go ahead. Chapter 5. Okay, verse 2.
Reading from the book of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 5 and verse 2. Follow not thy own mind.
Don't follow your own mind. Every time your mind tells you, yo, crash out. But yeah, crash out. Jeez, yo, she talking to you. Crash out. Don't follow your own mind, bro. Right? Read on.
Follow not thy own mind and thy strength.
Good. Read on.
To walk in the ways of thy heart.
Don't walk in the ways of your heart. Your heart going to tell you, but yeah, so she got you like a little boy. But just mash up everything in the house right now. Don't do it. Don't follow your own mind. Read on.
And say not, who shall control me for my works?
Don't say, well, nobody, I's the man in here. Listen, I's the man. Don't play with me. Read on.
For the Lord will surely revenge thy pride.
All you crash out kings, the Lord is going to revenge your pride. He's going to bring down your household. And guess what? The sad thing about it is because your wife joined to you, she's going to get affected by it too. So think before you crash out. Right? Before you bust a kick on the plant pot, the plant didn't do you nothing, first of all. The plant ain't do you nothing. The plant just chilling, minding their own business. You're going to bust a kick on the plant because you're upset. Right? The Lord is going to revenge you for your pride. Don't do it. So think in your mind that, wait, is crashing out a good idea right now? No, I'm trying to change. I'm actually trying to get my wife to submit to me more. And that's one of the reasons why she's not going to submit to you fully. Because you follow your own mind and you don't follow the scriptures. Sisters, anytime you see your man acting unscrupulous, ask him in that moment, hey babe, you think in this moment you're following the scriptures or you're following your mind? Girl, don't play with me. Well, hey, let me just say, do it with caution. If you have a real crash out king, he might just wild out even more than now you got to come to counsel. You understand that? Give me the book of, same book, Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach, chapter 20, verse 7. 20. So we're going ahead, skipping ahead a couple chapters. Chapter 20, and give me verse 7. So we're bouncing around a couple of scriptures just to give you the dynamics of why your wife will not submit. Go ahead.
Reading from the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 20 and verse 7. A wise man will hold his tongue till he sees opportunity.
Till he sees the opportunity. Don't always feel like right now because you're upset, the conversation needs to happen between you and your wife right now. A wise man just holds his tongue. He don't speak until he sees the right opportunity. They got some men who out there who's just like, I know we gotta deal with this right now, right now, right now. Nope, nothing happening until we have this conversation right now. Don't be like that. A wise man waits till the right opportunity to speak. Read on.
But a babbler and a fool will regard no time.
Like, especially when your woman already upset and then you annoying her just by babbling and talking and talk. She don't want to hear that at that moment. She's in her feelings. She's upset. She's emotional. The last thing she wants to hear is you babbling and going on and giving a monologue about how you think she should be acting. She does not want to hear it in that moment. Reapproach the conversation when she's in a better spirit. Reapproach the dialogue when she's in a different mood. It don't have to always happen in that moment. And that's one of the reasons why she kind of have that ick towards you. That ick. Because for some women, you're just a babbler, a talker. And I'm going to be the first to tell you. Since she not going to really want to tell you, you talk too much. Some men talk more than women. And because you talk too much, she don't want to hear it. She's annoyed with you. No, you like, but babe, how come you don't submit to me fully? Because she sees you as a babbler. Brothers, if you really want to exude manliness, just know when to just zip it, clip it, say nothing. There's a lot of manliness in some moments just saying nothing. It's not that you're thinking nothing, but you're waiting for the right what? The right time, the right opportunity. There you go. That's why she doesn't submit to you fully. Give me the book of, same book. Let's bounce back a couple chapters. Chapter 4 and verse 30. So the book of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 4, verse 30. We're going to come back to 20 just now. But give me chapter 4 and verse 30.
Reading from the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 4 and verse 30.
Come on.
Be not as a lion in thy house, nor frantic among thy servants.
So your wife is your helpmeet, but you're being frantic among her. Right? You're wilding out, you're crashing out, you're out here trying to tell her about how she should be acting when you're out here being a crash out king. She's not going to respect you. She's not going to respect what you're trying to say or what you're saying. You understand that? So do not be frantic among your servants. And you can be on the block with the bros. Blessed, yeah, bros, bless up, bless up. And then as soon as you walk to the house, bragadam, girl, with me food. And then you start wilding out. You can't do that. So on the block with the bros, you all, yeah, bros, bless up. And then when you reach home, you're lying in the house. Oh, I see. So you only have strength for your woman? That's sad. That's sad. And I saw a meme. I said this before. I saw a meme some time ago. It said, hey, sis, don't worry. The way he act with you, he don't act like that with the bros on the block. Because if he did that, they would punk him. He only act that way with you. He not really tough, sis. He only acting that way with you. But you go on the block, they gonna punk him. You understand that? So let's bounce back to 20. Give me verses 5 to 7. Bounce back to Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach. So we're bouncing around a bit to show you the dynamics of this thing. 20, give me verses 5 to 7.
Reading from the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 20. Commencing at verse 5. There is one that keepeth silence and is found wise.
A wise man knows when to keep what? Silent. Come on.
And another by much babbling become it hateful.
So you become hateful as a babbler. Meaning what? The reason why she look at you with the ick, that ick, because you're a babbler. all you do is just talk. You don't know when to shut up. You don't know when to be silent. And she's not giving you the full respect that a woman is supposed to give a man. That's why she don't submit, because you feel every moment is a moment to give her a monologue. You feel every moment is a moment to lecture her, and every moment ain't that. You gotta pick and choose and be wise and know when to have the conversation. Okay? Because she already in that mood, and all she hearing is this. That's all she hearing. That's it on that? Finish it up. 6. Read down to verse 7.
Start at verse 5. There is one that keepeth silent and is found wise, and another by much babbling becometh hateful. Verse 6. Some man holdeth his tongue because he had not to answer, and some keep it silence knowing his time.
You keep silent because you know your time. And that don't just go for wives. Nobody really like to be around somebody who all they're doing is just, oh my God, he's still talking? He's still talking? Oh my gosh. He's still banging him out? No, nobody really wants to be around that person. So don't be that guy. Listen to me, brothers. Don't be that guy. Let your words be short, sweet, and to the point. Don't be a babbler, because hateful feelings can come as a result of that. All right? Good. So the next point of why she won't fully submit to you, brothers, hope you're listening up. Cock your ears this way. All right? The next one is you're dishonest and you lack integrity. You're dishonest and you lack integrity. You know what we call that in St. Kitts? We call that a grung lizard. You're a grung lizard. And she sees that. Guess what? The number one person who sees that you're a grung lizard is the person that lives with you. Around everyone else, you appear to have integrity. Around everyone else, you appear to be honest and walking circumspect. You can't hide that from your woman. She knows, because sometimes you'll be asking her to lie for you. And she realizes, wait, my man, he lacking integrity. Now, integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is watching or looking. That is integrity. Having integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is around. All right? So, you lack integrity. You lie or you use semantics about even the smallest things. Hey babe, where you was? Oh, I was over by my cousin. Brothers, let me tell you something. Sometimes when a woman asks you a question, they already know the answer. They just want to see what you're going to say. So she already knows, yes, you did go by your cousin, but she also knows you went to 2 other places, because she didn't receive a phone call saying they saw the vehicle there because the person thought it was her driving. And I've seen that happen before, right? I've seen it happen before. And brothers, when it comes to the way you deal with your wife, don't be semantical. Be straight up, be honest, don't lie. Because when she realized, wait, he's dishonest with me, who's supposed to be his rib, his flesh, the closest one to him, then she realizes that there's no one you will not be dishonest with if you can be dishonest with her. Right? So, a lot of women, they notice it, they note it, they're like just mentally noted. They don't necessarily come out and tell you like, babe, I think you're a liar. She gonna think it and keep it as one in the chamber. You understand that? So you're dishonest, you lack integrity, you lie or use semantics even about the smallest things, and you're always making exorbitant promises and nothing ever comes out of it. You do one thing or you say one thing but you do a next. Women see that as being unstable. Therefore, they will not submit to you fully. Give me the book of Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 16. Proverbs 6 and 16. No, before you go there, let's go Proverbs 12 and 22 first. Then we'll go to Proverbs 6 and 16. So Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 22.
Reading from the book of Proverbs, chapter 12 and verse 22. Lying lips are abomination to the Lord.
So lying is very serious to the Lord. It's an abomination. You see like how homosexuality is an abomination. You see how eating pork is an abomination. Dressing out of order is an abomination. Right? Adultery is an abomination. Like this also is an abomination. So don't think of it as something light, brothers. Oh, well, I told her a white lie. It's just a little fib. A little fibberoo. It's very serious. Lying lips are an abomination to the Lord. Read on.
But they that deal truly are his delight.
But they that deal truly, that's his delight. Now we can go to Proverbs 6 and 16. Proverbs 6 and 16. And then we'll read down to verse 19.
Ready from the book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 16. These 6 things doth the Lord hate, yea, 7 are abomination unto him. 17. A proud look, a lying tongue, and the hands that shed innocent blood.
Good. So we could stop there. So these things that the Lord hate, and a lying tongue is included in that. So it's not something that, it's not trivial, it's not minimal, it's not something small. A lot of men think that lying is just something very minimal, very small, very trivial, very minimalistic. They don't think that the Lord regards it like other sins. I'm here to let you know that is not true. The Lord, it says he hates that thing. 7 things he hates, and that's one of them. Lying lips. You understand that? So, brothers, be honest with your wives. That's one of the reasons why she doesn't submit to you fully, because she found out some things. I'm going to tell you, brothers, something too. Your wife knows things that you lied to her about that she has not confronted you about yet. And she's just waiting for the right time till it comes out. Not for her to bring it up, but for it to come out, and you have no other choice but to be like, well, okay, babe, yeah, I wasn't all the way 100 with that. But she already knew. That's one of the reasons why all throughout the relationship she just didn't really submit, because she realized you a liar. You follow me? So brothers, do better, do better. From here on out, so you know what? I'm going to deal circumspect. I'm going to be honest and tell her the truth when it comes to everything. I'm not going to use semantics. I'm not going to use these little technicalities. Oh, wait, babe, where you went? Well, I went to the store, then, but you didn't say the other 2 places that you also went. Yes, you did go to the store, but you're using semantics. Semantics is a form of lying. Technicalities, that's also a gray area, because you're being technical. Me and my wife was watching something with our daughter the other day, and Pinocchio was in it. Was it Shrek? I don't remember what it was. Pinocchio made a cameo in Shrek, and Pinocchio, to prevent his nose from growing, right, he has to be very technical and semantical about what he says. So they asked him, where's the person? And he was like, well, I'm not going to say where he's not, because technically, you know, where he's not is not the place where I can say he is. And basically what he's doing is what a lot of brothers in the truth do. They do it, and not only to each other, but they do it to their wives. Brothers, that's not the way to be. When she realizes you a liar, that part of her that you want her to submit to you, she just can't. She just can't. You understand that? She doesn't want to have the conversation with you because you're king of number 2 that we listed out. You're a crash out king. She's in fear that you're going to probably just, you know, kick off the microwave. The microwave ain't do you nothing, bro. You ever notice when liars get caught lying? They're the one that, mind you get caught lying, but you the one that vexed when you get caught lying. How? It don't make sense, right? This is why she won't submit, my brother. Good. So, give me the book of Colossians chapter 3 and verse 9. No, we're good on that. Colossians 3 and verse 9.
Reading from the book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 9. Lie not one to another, seeing that you have put off the old man with his deeds.
So you're supposed to be a man that already put off your old man. You're a new creature, but you're still lying one to another. You're lying to brothers, you're lying to your wife, you're lying to yourself. And this is why she doesn't respect you. She doesn't honor you the way you would require her to. Right? Be an honorable man. Always tell the truth. All right? The only person you're supposed to fear is who? The Most High God. All right? Good. Give me the book of James 5 and 12. James chapter 5 and verse 12.
Reading from the book of James, chapter 5 and verse 12.
Come on.
But above all things, my brethren,
Above all things,
swear not, neither by heaven nor by earth,
don't swear by heaven or by earth.
neither by any other oath, but let your yea be yea, and your nay, nay, lest you fall into condemnation.
So if you don't let your yea be yea and your nay be nay, you're going to fall into condemnation. Now, a lot of people don't realize what swearing before heaven and earth actually is talking about. So, people think swearing before heaven and earth means, I call this day upon heaven and earth and I swear. Listen, making an oath or a promise to do something, just saying it. You are saying it. Where are you right now? You're on earth, right? So you're saying it here on earth, and your words go into the atmosphere. You're saying it before heaven and earth. So when you promise to do something and your wife realizes after a while, my man ain't really bow nothing. He making promises, nothing ever come out of it. She loses confidence in you after a while. At first, when you have a young bride, her hopes are high. You fall into rough times, everything is cool, everything is all right. I'm going to ride with you. After a while of that, she then begins to lose confidence. Because all years passing and it's just nothing but unfulfilled promises. Right? What's that 3LW, son? Promises. That's all she gained. Promises. And there's no action behind it, right? Deuteronomy 23 and verse 21. So brothers, you got to write these down so you know you're hitting the mark. You're not missing the mark. If you're doing these, then the problem might not be you. But a lot of brothers is doing these. So the problem just might be you. All right? Always first start with you, brothers. Read that, Deuteronomy 23 and 21.
Reading from the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23 and verse 21. When thou shalt vow a vow unto the Lord thy God, thou shalt not slack to pay it. For the Lord thy God shall surely require it of thee, and it will be a sin in thee.
Meaning that you're going to get judgment when you make promises and you don't keep your promises. You understand that? You make your promises, you're not keeping them, the Lord is going to require it of you. So, brothers, be very careful when you're going to say, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that, or yes. You answer yes, you let your yea be yea, but then you didn't follow through on your promise. The Lord is going to hold you accountable for that. So, you ain't really got your wife to worry about if you ain't fulfilling promises. You got the Lord, the Most High, to worry about. You understand that? He will require it of you. All right? Good. Moving right along. Here's the next reason, brothers. Hope you're taking notes. The next reason why your wife just can't submit 100% fully to you. This is a big one. You lack financial responsibility, or you're financially irresponsible. You spend recklessly. You're always broke without a real plan to improve, and you depend entirely too much on her financially without contributing equally. Right? So now we know that in the days of antiquity, the men were the sole providers. But because we went into what? Captivity, now things are a bit different where, hand has to help hand when it comes to the helpmeets, right? But if you are depending on her too much financially without contributing equally or even contributing anything, guess what's going to happen? Eventually, she's going to leave. Let me just break it to you now. Okay, the young bride that you have with a twinkle in her eye, who's naive and she not really, sure about the being jaded in life about certain things. Eventually, when she does come out of her naivety and she realizes, wow, this is life, and she realized my life could be better. What Tyler Perry movie says, I could do bad by myself. When she realized she could do bad all by herself, and the epiphany comes over her, and the light bulb comes over, and she realized, wait, I ain't got to stay around here for this. No, I'm out. Right? So, you avoid or you mismanage your responsibilities. Some brothers avoid their responsibilities altogether, but there's some brothers who they somewhat handle their responsibilities, but they mismanage their responsibilities, like bills stacked up to the sky, rent backed up, right? They don't look for their children. Now, sisters, if you married a man, he has children not with you. Let me back up. Let me reverse. Sis, if you prove in a man and he has children and they're not for you and they're from a previous relationship and he does not look for those children, provide for those children, he's not in their life in any way, shape, form, or fashion, sis, run. Run for the hills. Too many sisters we see, right, being yamheads and doing what? And treating a man who literally has totally cut off their offspring. What does that say about his character? What does that say about him on a whole? Sis, don't do it. You understand that? So now, let me just back up. When it comes to bills and having things like the mortgage or the rent backed up, your wife sees all of these things. She sees your fiscal irresponsibility. She notes it. That's one of the reasons why a lot of brothers, because they don't have a good track record of handling business at home, handling the bills, making sure everything is on the up and up, that's why she literally does not want to submit over to you her portion of the finances. She rather deals with it because she sees how you handle finances. She realizes where we live in debt, we're living hand to mouth, we're living crazy out here. So you can't expect her to be like, well, yeah, babes, here's my paycheck for the month, you go and handle the bills and whatnot, because she's looking around and realizing, wait, things are running amok. Things are not the way it should be. Landlord calling us, the creditors calling us, the bills, people for the bills, they calling us. It's backed up. Brothers, you got to get a hold of that. You got to get yourself out of that situation. Give me the book of Proverbs 13 and 22. Proverbs 13 and 22. Brothers, you got to get a hold on the finances.
Ready for the book of Proverbs, chapter 13 and verse 22. He that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed.
That's Proverbs 13. 13 and 22.
22. A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just.
So a good man, he leaves wealth for his children's children. You understand that? Good money management is something that is very important, brothers. And your wife will absolutely see whether you're good with money or whether you're bad with money. And even if she doesn't realize now, when she realizes later, by that time it may be too late. Brothers, get a grip on that right now. So, leaving an inheritance for your children's children. Now, young men, let me speak to you for a second. Part of your duty is protecting your wife and protecting her in all ways. Protecting her mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. Part of protecting her physically is also making sure that the family is safe in the case of something happening. Now, I know how it is. Yes, we're in captivity, but you have to make decisions that's going to benefit your family down the road. And do it now while you're young. Now, here's a question. Do you have health insurance? If the answer is no, brothers, you're slacking. Do you have life insurance, which is something completely different? If the answer is no, then brothers, you got to get a grip on that. There are plans that you and your family can partake of, and there are family indemnity plans, right? And sometime in the future, Lord willing, there's a brother who works for one of the insurance companies. I'm going to get him to, talk to some of the younger brothers about the importance of it and why they should, and to share with you some of the plans that they may have. You might say, well, I don't have no money to do it, but here's the thing. You're spending money on other things. Why not put that into protecting your family? If you have children, brothers, listen to me, young brothers, if you have children, you need something in place that if you're not here, they don't have to suffer. They don't have to suck salt, as they say. Read that scripture again for me.
Reading from the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 13, verse 22. A good man leaveth an inheritance for his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just.
The wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just. So you may not have that money in your bank account right now, but if you get an insurance policy, and if you are not here tomorrow, they will pay out to the next of kin who you have as a beneficiary on the policy. They will get a payout. So it covers the funeral, and it covers also giving your children and your wife something, because if you're not here, remember, if you're the breadwinner, you're the one that's providing for the household. Without you there, let's say something happened, you don't know when the Lord is going to take you out of here. The Lord takes out even some of his greatest soldiers in the height of the battle. If the Lord decides to take you out tomorrow and you're not there, then your wife is there to fend on her own. Then your children are there to fend on their own. Brother, sound wisdom would tell you a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. Okay? It's part of protecting your family, brothers. So before you go out, and I've seen brothers, before they even put their family protection in place, they're just spending money on clothes, shoes, looking fly, haircuts, everything. I'm not saying don't have your personal upkeep, but there's something called budgeting. And there's plans out there literally for $90 a month that can protect you and your family should something happen to you. But because you're not looking in that, you're thinking you're going to live forever. That's not the case. One day you're going to wake up and you're going to be 53 and you're going to realize, what am I doing with my life? Suppose I pass tomorrow. Brothers, take serious stock of this, please. I can't say it enough. If you get sick tomorrow, for those brothers that don't have health insurance, if you get sick tomorrow, what's going to happen to the bills? If your wife can't handle them on her own, and your earning is cut short in the middle of you earning, but you get sick, and you got to be in the hospital for the next 5 weeks, 6 weeks, what's going to happen? You get in an accident, you're in a coma. You can't provide. Well, guess what? Sometimes I've seen movies where the man in a coma too long, the woman got to move on. She got to move on. Sad, but it is what it is. Give me a next scripture, please. Give me the book of Proverbs 22 and verse 7. Proverbs 22 and verse 7.
Reading from the book of Proverbs, chapter 22 and verse 7. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender.
The borrower is servant to the lender. Now, brothers, this is wisdom right here. If you have your wife living in too much debt, and she realized that we're living in too much debt and the debt is above our heads and we can't handle it, understand this. It says the borrower is basically the servant to the lender, right? Here's wisdom. For the young men, you just got married or you're just about to go and get married, don't put yourself in a lot of debts. Because once you marry someone, you marry their debts as well. You marry every debt that they have as well. Because once that person isn't here, for whatever reason, the next of kin is who the lender will be seeking to reconcile that payment from. You understand? So what I'm saying to you is this. Don't be so quick and so hurry to just go into debt. You may have some debt, but if your debt is more than you can bear or handle, then it's gonna be a detriment to you, brothers. Listen. And you don't want to have your wife living in survival mode. What does that mean? Survival mode means, in her mind, not only we living hand to mouth, but we live in hand to mouth and we got debts, mountain debts that it's climbing as we speak. You don't want to do that. And the answer to clearing debt is never what? Going into more what? Debt. That's never the answer. You never try to clear debt by going into more debt. It really doesn't make sense. If your wife sees that, in her mind, guess what she's planning? The moment she realizes what's happening, she's planning her exit strategy. Because she does not want to go down in a burning ship with you. She figure, I'm going to let you go down in a burning boat by yourself after a while, right? Good. So that was the book of Proverbs 22 and verse 7. Let's get Ecclesiastes 7 and 12. Ecclesiastes 7 and 12. So brothers, you want to get a handle on the bills. If you got rent backed up, anything you got backed up, you want to have a clear, solid plan to work off the debt. Chip away at it. Bit by bit. Okay, Rome wasn't built in a day, and you can surely chip away at your debt and do so responsibly. And brothers, be responsible. Don't be splurging on other things when you know you got debt that is right behind you. You got debts. Don't be splurging on things that are not of a priority. If it's not a priority, leave it alone. Read that for me.
Reading from the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 12. For wisdom is a defense and money is a defense.
Money is a defense. Every time when your woman realizes that you're broke or you're broke or you just don't got it, she start thinking in her mind like, when is he going to get it together? Now money is a defense. With money, you can do things. With money, you can, with the right resources, you can do a lot of things. You can do what needs to be done. You can handle your responsibilities, right? You don't have to be a millionaire or a trillionaire or a billionaire to be able to handle your responses, but you need enough money in this world to handle your obligations. If you don't have enough of it, then you need to work on a plan that will allow you or help you to handle what you need to handle. And sometimes all you need to do is pray to the Lord. Once you're keeping these commandments, right? Pray to the Lord and ask him to give you enough to handle what you have outstanding. You're not praying to be no millionaire, because sometimes a lot of y'all be praying to be a millionaire and the Lord just not going to do it for you because you're weak in other areas, and he's just not going to let you be a millionaire because you would destroy yourself, because you're disregarding the other areas where you're weak. Right? If you can't even rule your whole household properly, he's going to let you be a millionaire? Your house out of order, but he's going to let you be a millionaire. Oh, okay, cool. All right. Okay. So read that again for me.
Reading from the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 7 and verse 12. For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense, but the excellence of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it.
Good. So money is a defense. Brothers, you got to put strategies in, lawful strategies, of course, not unlawful, to be able to handle your responsibilities accurately. Now, given the book of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25 and verse 22. The book of Sirach, 25 and verse 22.
Reading from the book of Sirach, chapter 25 and verse 22. A woman, if she maintain her husband...
If she maintains her husband, or she's the one that basically paying more for everything than her husband, read on.
Is full of anger.
She's full of what?
Anger.
She's full of what?
Anger.
A woman that's paying more for everything, and she feel like you not dealing with your half the right way, properly, you're mismanaging money, or you're very tight or stingy with money, but you expect her to pay for this and pay for that and pay for that. Hey babes, you got it? You seen these memes where husband and wife walk into the grocery, and they're walking together, they're holding each other like this, and he don't have it, and she go in her purse and she do this. She's like, and he's like, yeah, put the card down and bam, yeah, pay for that. It was her card. But now I'm not saying that your wife can't cover you in certain instances where, you may not have it. Of course, that's your helpmeet. But what I'm talking about is constant, perpetual, continuous, and she realized, wait. I'm like the one that's the head of the home. I'm paying for everything. I'm maintaining him. They got some brothers, right? I've seen some brothers, worldly brothers, of course. They go to their woman for the simple. Hey, babes, could I get $25 to cut my hair? Hey, babes, yeah, me and the bros going out later. Could I get $50 oh, yeah, and give me like $40 extra so I could put some gas in your car. in your car. Brothers, read that again. You wondering why your woman won't submit to you? Here's one of the chief reasons why. Read that.
A woman, if she maintain her husband.
If she maintaining you, my brother, with the basic needs, the basic essentials, come on.
Is full of anger.
She's going to be very angry with you all the time. She's not going to submit to you plenty of the time. Read on.
Impudent.
She's going to be impudent with you, very impatient. She's going to be like, listen, she's going to talk to you how she want to talk to you. Let me tell you something now. If this woman maintaining you, brother, you got to look to her for everything, even to make a decision. So not only decisions and you're looking for her to pay everything. Guess what? She's going to talk to you the way she want to talk to you. She's not going to submit to you. She's going to have attitude towards you. You're going to be wondering, why my woman always got attitude? This is why. Because she see you as weak. You're weak, brother. You're weak. And you need building up. You need supplicant. You need strength. Read on.
And much reproach.
And much reproach. She's going to have that ick towards you. It's like she's going to be just looking at you. You ain't even going to know this is her thoughts. Her thoughts going to be like watching you. Watch him now. Think he's Mr. This and Mr. That. When I'm the one that got to pay for his haircut. I'm the one that got to pay for this. I'm the one that got to pay for that. I'm paying the bills. I paying more in rent than he paying. Right? I buying the groceries. I doing this. When I get paid, he's asking me for my money to pay for things that he needs. This man can't do nothing for himself. After a while, she gonna realize, wait, I could take my money and go and be on my own by myself. I don't need him. Because being with him, I'm in debt. Being with him, bills piling up. Being with him, I pay for everything anyway. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to just go off and be on my own anyway and just be free. That's why a lot of women get to that point. They just want to be free because with you, they're getting bogged down. With you, there's no way she's going to submit to that because she's maintaining you, bro. And that's why she talked to you the way she talked to you, my brother. My good, beloved brothers. That's why the way she talked to you like that. And that's why she always have an attitude, because brothers be like, well, your attitude always stink. Well, yeah, brother, it would be stink. Because you got her out here as if she's the man. You have her making all the decisions financially and otherwise. But then when she asks you, hey, babes, what's the plan? You're like, well, yeah, I got a plan, but then, you know. Babes, we got insurance. Hey, sisters, y'all married? Let me tell you, I'm married, sister, something right now. You better sit down with your husbands after this class and say, baby, if something was to happen to you tomorrow, is there something in place that will cover me and the family if you're not here tomorrow? Every sister watching this better ask their husband that right now. Or let's wait till after the class, right? After the class. If he don't, say to him, babe, a good man leaveth an inheritance for his children. You're not following the scriptures if you don't have us covered like that. You understand that? All praises. Good. So, give me the book of, so that last one was Ecclesiasticus 25 and 22. She's full of much reproach, impudence. Give me 1 Timothy 5 and verse 8. 1 Timothy 5 and verse 8. Go into the book of 1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 8. So brothers, we're giving you that milk that you need so that you can get this woman to really realize you're a circumspect man. If you ain't doing this, then there's no way she's going to fully respect you.
Reading from the book of 1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 8.
Come on.
But if any provide not for his own,
come on,
and especially for those of his own house,
and for those of his own household, come on,
he had denied the faith and is worse than an infidel.
You have denied the faith of this truth, and you're worse than an infidel. Who knows what's an infidel? By show of hands. You know what an infidel is? What's an infidel? An unbeliever. In other words, you don't believe in these scriptures if you're not going to provide for your own household, for your own family. You're not out here protecting your wife. You're not providing provision. You understand that? Good. So let's move on to the next one. The next one. We're moving right on. All right? We're going to wrap it up soon, but we're coming on to the next one. Now, this is one that a lot of women have definitely said for them, this one is a deal breaker for them. They say when the man lacks masculine presence, he's too passive, or you let her walk all over you and you act weak in the face of challenges. You let other people disrespect you without standing up for yourself. Women see that as you're weak, you're effeminate, and you can't lead properly. You're too passive. Now, here's the thing. Now, sisters, you got to forgive the brothers. Okay? If you have a brother that he lets you walk all over him, you got to forgive the brother. Why? Because brothers, for some reason, not all brothers, some brothers for some reason think that by allowing a woman to walk all over them, they think that's what the woman wants. How many of you brothers, when you were young and naive, used to think that's what women want? By show of hands. Used to think women like when you allow them to do whatever they want, act however they want, walk all over you. In other words, being a simp. Right? Now, let me just say this for the brothers who don't want to admit it. There's a time in a brother's life when he's very young, when he's very naive, and his perception of life is skewed. And he thinks, he doesn't know what the word simp is. He just thinks by making a woman happy, by doing whatever she wants, giving her whatever she wants, that's what's going to make her happy. That's when you're very young and very childish and very foolish. But you come to an age where you realize, wait, if you let a woman walk all over you like that, and you become a doormat, right? She will never respect you. So, all brothers at some young point in their life, some younger than some older than some, but nonetheless, brothers when they're in that naive stage, just like sisters have their naive stage, brothers have a naive stage where they think to please a woman is to just cater to in other words, let her walk all over you. Let her just treat you how she want to treat you. Let her be the boss. And I heard of an older gentleman, much older than myself. He said, you see my wife? Yeah, she's the head of government. She's everything. She's the head in the house. She does everything in the house. Brother, a lot of men are like that. The generation before me. Yeah. Now, Colonel, I'm pretty sure you know of some gentlemen like that, right? Yeah, that's it. The woman, she controls everything. I leave everything to her. Because for some men, they think that's what she wants. Brothers, here's the thing. That's not what she wants. I'm here to let you know this. Women don't want that. They don't want, even though they might act like they want to be, the head honcho, the leader in the house, they don't really want that. I've heard many sisters in the truth say, I'm so glad I got a husband. He deals with everything for me. He deals with it all. Anything comes up in the relationship, he deals with it. Issues, he deals with it. Problems, he deals with it. She gets to be a passenger princess. Right? So watch this. Give me the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verses 10 to 11. So you can't be so passive, brothers. You can't be weak, letting these women walk all over you. You're acting weak in the face of challenges. Something happened and you're looking to her for the answer. Ephesians 6, verses 10 to 11.
Reading from the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verses 10, standard verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might.
Be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Stop being weak. Come on.
Put on the whole armor of God.
The Lord gave you armor to put it on. So put it on. Come on.
That ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
That whatever the devil sends your way, whatever threats come your way, you're supposed to be able to stand in the midst of adversity and tell your wife, babe, this is what we're doing. Some men are like, babe, what are we doing? Brother, don't listen. She needs confidence in your leadership. Stand strong. A strong man is a praying man. If your wife don't see you throwing on prayers and you in this truth, she may not think that you have it together when the time calls for it. She just don't have the confidence. But a strong man in this truth prays constantly, because once he's praying to the Lord, he's constantly receiving what? What is he receiving from the Lord? Direction, instruction. He knows how to navigate. It's coming from the Lord. Your wife sees that you have that relationship with the Lord. You always praying. So guess what? When things happen, she's like, my husband got it. I ain't even got to fret. I ain't even got to worry. I ain't got to get depressed, angry, anxious, none of that. My husband got it. So stand strong, brother, in the Lord. Put on the armor of the Lord. Finish it out. That's it on that? Or, that's it on that? That was 10 and 11. Good. Give me 1 Corinthians 16 and verse 3. 1 Corinthians chapter 16 and verse 3. 1 Corinthians chapter 16 and verse 3. Yeah, 1 Corinthians 16 and verse 3.
Reading from the book of 1 Corinthians.
Yeah, 1 Corinthians 16 and verse 3.
Reading from the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 16 and verse 3. And when I come, whomsoever you shall approve.
Sorry, 13. 1 Corinthians 16 and 13.
13.
Yes.
Reading from the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 16 and verse 13. Watch ye, stand fast in the faith, quit ye like men, be strong.
Be strong. In other words, in this faith, and you have faith in Christ, you have faith in the Father, you're supposed to be able to pray to the Lord, receive instruction, receive navigational tools straight from the Lord that will navigate your family in the right way. You're not doing that, then guess what? You're asking her, but babes, what we gonna do? She don't have confidence in you. That's why one of the reasons why she just can't submit 100% to you. You understand that? Proverbs 31 and verse 3. Proverbs chapter 31 verse 3. Yeah, she got to ask you what we doing, not you asking her what we doing. Proverbs 31 and verse 3.
Reading from the book of Proverbs chapter 31 and verse 3.
Come on.
Give not thy strength unto women.
Stop giving your strength unto women. You weak men. Stop doing that. Come on.
Nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings.
Because that way you're going down of giving your strength to a woman destroys kings. It destroyed many kings before, and it will definitely destroy you. Stop being a weak man. You understand? And it seems as if we're going to have to definitely, for the young brothers that's coming into this truth, we're going to have to do some direct classes or coaching on how to not give your strength over to a woman, because a woman walk all over you. In her mind, she's thinking, this fool right here, this fool right here, he allowing me to just run circles around him like that? Ain't no way. Guess what? She's going to stay there and use you and use you and use you till she's ready to move on to another victim and another victim of who she could just keep doing that to. She don't want to keep you, mind you. Let's be clear. She doesn't want to keep you around, but in the moment, you satisfy her whims and her fancy of being able to run circles around you. So don't give your strength over to a woman. All right? Maintain your integrity. Be a man. Be strong in the power of the Lord and his might. Pray to the Lord. Be a man that's receiving instruction from the Lord. Good. So the next reason why your woman will not submit to you, this is also part of being a ground lizard, because you got infidelity issues and loyalty issues. You're disloyal and there's infidelity. So you're cheating, you're entertaining other women, you're being sneaky, you're going around, in everybody's DMs, right? You're being very romantic with every other woman except yours, right? You're all here hugging every other woman except yours, right? You're entertaining other women except yours. You're untrustworthy. You're shady in your communication towards her, and you don't protect her from outside threats like family, friends, other women. Now, your job is to protect her from not only if her family tries to come against her, but if your family tries to come against her. Don't put your family or her family above your wife. Brothers, don't do that. Once your wife get a whiff of that, she'll note it, she'll keep it in the chamber, and she'll realize this ain't going to be the guy that I'm going to fully submit to. He doesn't protect me, right? So you got to be able to protect your wife, right? And teach your wife. Guide her. So your job is to lead, guide, teach, protect, provide, and to love your wife. Okay? Now give me the book of Exodus 20 and verse 14. When your wife sees you start acting shady, every time you're around her, your phone goes like this. Yo, babes, why your phone always face down? Well, nothing, babes. You know, it saves more battery power that way. You know, when it's face down like this, it's in battery saving mode. Babe, who is Pizza Hut? We don't even have Pizza Hut here. Oh, I probably saved it wrong. It ain't really Pizza Hut. I meant Domino's. Read that for me.
Reading from the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 14.
Come on.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Thou shalt. So a lot of brothers in their relationships, they're out here committing fornication and adultery, and they think because their wife ain't necessarily saying that they're seeing their shady movements, that they think their wife gonna respect them and submit to them. But your wife been seeing, you know, how you act around your phone. Your phone is always down like this. You acting shady. You answering calls. You're going in the next room. Well, I tell you, don't call me after 7. Call me when, you know, daytime. She sees you acting shady. She gonna see all of that, right? A lot of brothers out here being, you know, very untrustworthy, very shady in their communications, right? And she sees all of it, right? And she's thinking to herself, wow, if he could be shady with me, ain't nobody he gonna not be shady with. All right, give me Proverbs 6 and verse 32. Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 32. So brothers, your wife sees all. She sees how you act, all right? How you move. You being shady. Domino's texting you at 11 at night. Talking about your pizza is ready. You all here waking her up out this day. Babes are going on the road to come back quick. Yeah, I'm going to pick up the pizza. But I'm going to eat it on the way back so you ain't going to see it outside. So I'll be back though. Read that for me. Proverbs 6 and 32.
Reading from the book of Proverbs, chapter 6 and verse 32. But whoso committed adultery with a woman lacketh understanding.
Lacketh understanding. Understand this for you brothers. You watch pornography as well. That's a form of adultery as well. You're watching two persons naked on screen doing sexual acts. It's going into the Greek word pornography, which comes from the Latin word pognos. What's the Greek for that again? I forgot the actual spelling for it, but it's like pornogeia. Pornogeia, pornography. It's a form of adultery and fornication as well. Your wife opened the door, caught you watching it, or she realized, hey babes, let me use your phone quick for a second. She opened the browser. Oh, the BBW that she's seeing on the screen doesn't stand for Budget Boost Wallet. It stands for something else. And she see that. She gonna keep it as one in the chain. But now if your wife is, you know, she's open with you, she gonna ask you, hey babes, why is there big booty whatever on your screen? And then you being a brother who doesn't tell the truth anyway, oh yeah, that came up because I was on another site and that just popped up, and then because you don't want to be truthful. The Lord is gonna actually judge you. If your wife catch you doing something that you're not supposed to be doing, brother, just own up to it. Let her know you got a problem, because if you don't tell her, not only would the Lord reveal it before everyone, which one you would rather? The Lord reveal it before the whole congregation? Or would you just prefer to just, hey babes, you know, before I married you, I had an issue with this. I'm working on it, but I'm not working on it enough. I want you to pray with me so I can overcome this thing. Your wife can't pray accurately for you if she don't know what you're struggling with. Tell your wife your insecurities and what you're dealing with so she can pray. A praying woman is a powerful woman. Tell her what you're struggling with and the things you used to struggle with in the world, because you try to conceal them when you're married, because getting married doesn't push away the things that you were struggling with in the world. You get married and they exacerbate. They get even more. They get more compounded. Now you're trying to run around circles to hide it even more, because now you live under one roof with somebody, and now when you wasn't living with her, you could be more open with your stuff, but now you're with her. It's like you got to be more secretive to hide the things that you're doing, okay, on the low. So what verse was that? That was Proverbs. Good. Good. Give me Matthew 5 and verse 37. Matthew 5 and verse 37. One of the reasons why a lot of wives would not want to submit to these husbands because let's just be real, they're being disloyal. They're disloyal to them. And disloyalty doesn't just go in the realm of cheating. It goes also in terms of when a man puts his mother over the wife notes that. Brothers, you got to stop putting your mothers over your wife. Like I one time asked one brother, this was even just when we just came into the truth. If your mother downtown says she's hungry, and your wife is on the other side of the other road, she call you, says she's hungry. Both of them call you in the span of 2 minutes. Say they're hungry, they need something to eat right now. Who you carrying the thing to eat for first? He said, well, my mother, of course. Brother, you're wrong. You're not going according to the scriptures. Your mother could wait. You know why? She's supposed to have a husband. But she chased him off too. So she needed you to be a tether so she could live out her dreams by you being that tether of who she was supposed to have as her husband. But she ran him off too. Brothers, when you realize you're married and your mother was supposed to have already lived her life, mommy time done gone. Now is your time. You better go carry that thing for your wife. Then you could carry it for her after. Even if you carried it in a space of 5 minutes after, that's fine. Carry it to your wife first. Some brothers is like, not me. But you're wrong. I'm going to just let you know, if you do that, you're not following the scriptures. Read that for me. Matthew 5, verse 37.
Reading from the book of Matthew chapter 5 and verse 37. But let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay.
Be yea, yea, nay, nay. Come on.
For whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil.
Cometh of evil. So you got to be real with your wives. Be truthful. Okay? Give me Genesis 2 and verse 24. Be truthful, brothers. All right? Stop expecting this woman to submit to you when you're very dishonest with her. She asks you a question. You're like, well, kind of, not really. You know, you beat around the bush. You ain't giving her no definite yes or no. Anything else other than yes or no, Christ said it is evil. Genesis 2 and 24.
Reading from the book of Genesis, chapter 2 and verse 24.
Come on.
Therefore shall a man leave his wife and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife.
So, brother, you left your mother and you left your father to cleave to your wife. Stop putting your parents above your wife. That's one of the reasons why she's just not going to submit 100% to you. She just won't. She sees where you have her in life. Okay? You're supposed to be Yahweh Shai, the Christ, right? The man and the woman. But some men have it to be Yahweh Shai, right? Himself, his mother, right? Then maybe his father, then the wife somewhere down here. That's wrong, brothers. Don't do that. Okay? And then wonder, why she don't submit? Give me the book of Nehemiah, chapter 4 and verse 14. Nehemiah 4 and verse 14. Leave and cleave, brother. How you have your mother living in the house with you and your wife, and she ain't physically there, but she's spiritually there. That's insanity. Nehemiah chapter 4 and verse 14. Go ahead. Nehemiah chapter 4 and verse 14. Right? Nehemiah 4 and 14.
I'm reading from the book of Nehemiah, chapter 4 and verse 14. And I looked up and rose up and said unto the nobles and to the rulers and to the rest of the people, be not ye afraid of them. Remember the Lord, which is great and terrible. So
they was going into battle, but he says, remember the Lord. So whatever battle that you're fighting in life, right, you got to remember the Lord in the midst of it. Read on.
And fight for your brethren.
So here's the thing, you're going to fight for your brothers, yes. That's
your
a given.
sons.
Your sons, that's a given.
And your daughters.
And your daughters, come on.
Your wives and your houses.
You got to fight for your wife as well. So understand this. When you're fighting for your wife, you're protecting her from outside threats. That includes whether the outside threat is your direct family or her direct family. Your job is to protect her at all costs. Your brethren, your sons, right? But also your wives. Protect them. All right? Physically, emotionally, spiritually. All right? Good. The next one that sisters have been crying out and saying why they don't submit 100% to their husbands is you have poor emotional control, brother. Right? You're overly jealous. You're overly insecure. You get angry over small things. You're throwing tantrums. It's kind of similar to the second one, right? But poor emotional control, being very overly jealous. Now, brothers, you have to try your best to not be a psychopath in this truth. You just have to. Because if you're a psychopath, it means that your wife is going to be on the opposite end of you being a psychopath. And what is a psychopath? Someone, their thoughts, they're skewed because of the way they think. Not regular thoughts, they're skewed. So like, perfect example. You walking up the street or you're walking down Port Zante, you're walking on the boardwalk with your wife, and someone says good afternoon to you both. Hey, good afternoon. And you're like, let's wait till reach in the car. Question, babes. That man who said good afternoon, you know him? No, babe. No. Not how he said it in a certain kind of tone that indicates that you know him. No, babes, I don't know the guy. He just said me good morning. Nah. You're walking home. Go ahead. Jump out the car. Go ahead. Jump out. Brother, you're being a psychopath. Literally. But if you allow yourself to be a psychopath, she mentally notes it and she realizes, wait, this can't be the man I want to fully submit to because he's insecure. Brothers, you got to be secure in knowing that if you're hitting all the points that we talked about earlier and you're dominant and predominant in her life, it don't matter who said good. Listen, you could leave her to walk up 4th Street by herself. No one that says good morning to her, she's going to be looking or thinking about them in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Why? Because you're the predominant man in her life. You have nothing to worry about. Stop being a psychopath. Stop being overly jealous. Stop being like every man. No, yes, we have to protect our wives, but from imminent, direct threats. But if a brother ain't a direct threat, why are you being a psychopath? Nah, I got to protect her. See how he walked up the street and he blinked his eyes. I got to stab him. Because he blinked his eyes. Brother, you're being a psychopath. Straight up and down. Nah, he did with the angle in which he was walking. It was like he was trying to show my wife body language. Like he was walking at an angle. I got to stab him. Brother, you're being a psycho. Don't do that. Women see that as weakness. Good. So, and usually brothers who get very jealous or insecure over very, just simple things, they tend to get very angry and throw tantrums over very small things. Very small. Very, very, very small. Right? And I know personally. I remember many moons ago. I won't even go into that. I was going to say when I was 19 years old, we had a club, and I won't even go into that. Just brothers, stop being a psycho. If you allow it, you will turn into that, right? Every brother goes through that phase where you get very overly protective. If you allow it to run amok, it will take control of you. It will overcome you, and your wife will realize this guy just not the guy who I'm going to submit to, all right? Give me the book of Proverbs 15 and verse 1. Proverbs 15 and verse 1. So brothers, we're going over all the reasons why, well, most or the top ones, the top reasons why she just won't submit to you. Fix these things right now. Proverbs 15 verse 1.
Reading from the book of Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 1. A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger.
So a soft answer turneth away wrath. Brothers, learn how to deal with your wives with a soft answer. Stop wilding out, getting angry over small things, right? And a lot of men also, they get very emotionally unavailable and they shut down. Like, brothers, the sisters are supposed to be doing that because they're more emotionally inclined. But if you're a brother and you get so emotionally unavailable that you shut down, you're not fit to lead her, because when both of y'all in that spirit, who's going to lead? Who's going to lead? Right? Give me the book of Proverbs 29 and verse 11. Proverbs 29 verse 11. So brothers, take stock of this. Really take note of these things. Proverbs 29 and verse 11.
Reading from the book of Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 11. A fool uttereth all his mind, but a wise man keepeth it in till afterwards.
A fool utters all his mind. That goes into, again, you're babbling, you're uttering everything that comes to your mind. Anything that comes to your mind, you say it. Yeah, just tell her this right now. Then you just start saying it. Don't do that, brother. All right? Good. Ephesians 4 and 26. So your wife is watching. She's noting. She's seeing how you act. She's seeing you be emotionally unavailable. You're overly jealous. You're overly insecure. You're getting angry at small things. You got to check that, brother. All right? Ecclesiasticus 5 and 11. Sorry, Ephesians 4 and verse 26.
Reading from the book of Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 26. Be ye angry and sin not.
So be angry. Being angry is not a sin, but it says don't sin.
Let not the sun go down upon your wrath.
Don't let the sun go down upon your wrath, because after anger can lead to what? Sin. So the sin isn't the anger, but it can lead to sin. But don't let the sun go down, because if you let the sun go down on your anger, what can and will eventually happen? Because as a result of the anger, sin. If you don't solve the anger before the sun goes down, sin will result at the end of that thing. All right? So don't let your anger continue, brother. All right? The book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus chapter 5 and verse 11. Ecclesiasticus chapter 5 and verse 11. Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach, chapter 5 and verse 11.
Reading from the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 5 and verse 11. Be swift to hear.
Swift to hear.
And let thy life be sincere.
So you see that? Be swift to hear. Hear. So you got to hear. You got to take time out to listen. Listen to your wives, brother. Another reason why, because you don't listen to her, she just not submitting to you. Read on.
And with patience give answer.
Then with patience. You're not swift to speak, but you're listening more than you speak. A lot of brothers speak more than they listen. And for that reason, all their wives' silent cries, goes unheard, unanswered. Why? They don't listen enough. Why? They want her to hear him more than they listen. Brothers, just listen. Just listen. You know, I was speaking to Soldier Zakar this week, well, before the week was over, and he said, you know, Cap, you know, when I'm speaking to someone, right, whether it's my wife or another brother, what I do is I listen for the things even not being said. And I said, that's wisdom right there. You listen more than you speak. That is what you want to do, brothers. All right? Give me the book of Proverbs 18 and verse 13. Proverbs 18 and verse 13. So we're showing you, brother, she doesn't want to submit to you 100%, even if she submits 70%, even if she submits 80%, even if she submits 90%, and there's still a 10%, and you're trying to figure out why she just won't submit the 10%. We're showing it to you. Proverbs 18 and verse 13.
Reading from the book of Proverbs chapter 18 and verse 13. He that answereth a matter before he heareth it, it is folly and a shame unto him.
So stop answering a matter before you hear the whole cause, before you hear the whole story, before you hear everything. Listen to her. But you want to jump in and give your 5 cents and your 10 cents and your 15 cents, and you just want to hear yourself talk. Some brothers just love to hear themselves talk. But you're not listening more than you speak. And you're giving answer before you hear her whole explanation. That's why you don't fully understand her. You think you do, but you really don't. Right? So now, here's the other reason why wives just don't want to submit 100% to their husbands. Because you're lacking in support and affection when it comes to her. You lack support and affection. You ignore her emotional and physical needs. You don't appreciate her efforts. You take her for granted. You make her feel like a burden rather than a partner. You understand? Give me 1 Peter 3 and 7. So you lack support and affection. You ignore her emotional and physical needs. You do not appreciate the efforts that she's been putting out. All you've been doing is whining and arguing and calling her out. You take her for granted. You make her feel like a burden. You don't make her feel like a spouse or a partner, like she's in this with you together. 1 Peter 3 and verse 7.
Reading from the book of 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 7.
Come on.
Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel.
Read on.
And as being heirs together of the grace of life,
Read on.
that your prayers be not hindered.
A lot of brothers not getting their prayer answered because their prayers are being hindered, and their prayers of God, I just want my wife to submit, is not being answered because they're not dwelling with them according to knowledge. The reason why she's not submitting, and you've been praying for a long time that she submits, the reason why she's not submitting is because your prayer of her wanting to submit will not be answered. It will go unanswered. Why? You're not dwelling with her according to knowledge. What's the knowledge you're supposed to have about this woman? You got to know some of the things that, you know, she likes. You got to support some of the things that she, you know, she likes, and some of the things that she wants to do. See how you could incorporate it within the family dynamic. She feels like you're lacking in that area. You lack support, you lack affection. Some brothers don't show their wives no affection at all. Give me Ephesians 5 and 25. They don't hug their wives. They don't kiss on their wives. They don't comfort their wives. Right? No affection. Just very robotic. When last you hugged your wife, my brother? When last you told your wife, hey baby, you look beautiful, I love you, come here, give me a kiss? Let's get that, Ephesians 5 and 25.
Reading from the book of Ephesians.
Yes, Ephesians 5 and 25. You ain't giving her no affection. Come on.
Reading from the book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 25.
Come on.
Husbands, love your wives
You gotta love her. Come on.
even as Christ also loved the church
Even as Christ loved the church.
and gave himself for it.
Giving yourself for your wife also means you're giving into the affection. You're giving into the things that she likes. You understand that? Let me give you some love and affection. That's what the song say, right? You got to give your wife affection. Give me Colossians 3 and verse 19. If you're not giving your wife affection, there's that part of her that just won't submit to you 100%. Colossians 3 and verse 19.
Reading from the book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 19. Husbands, love your wives and be not bitter against them.
Don't be bitter against your wife. You're all here with a bitter attitude towards her. She sees that, she notes that, and I'm talking about a perpetual bitterness, a constant bitterness, right? A consistent bitterness. Don't be that way towards her because she needs love, she needs affection. A lot of brothers want to deal with their wives like they want to deal with brothers. No, you can't deal with her like that. She's soft, she's delicate. You got to deal with her as such. Proverbs 5 and verse 18 to 19. Give her some affection, my brother. That's what she needs. Sometimes when your wife is acting up, sometimes you got to love them down. When they're acting up, you love them down.
Reading from the book of Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 18.
Sorry. Proverbs, yes, 5 and 18, correct.
Let thy fountain be blessed and rejoice with the wife of thy youth.
Rejoice with the wife of your youth, man. You got to be able to enjoy this time in your youth. For you young brothers, enjoy it. Even when you get older, still enjoy it as if you are young still. Still date her. Still carry her out. Still do things, but make sure you have your priorities in order because you can't wine and dine and bills up to the sky. Okay? Handle your priorities, then you can enjoy the wife of your youth the right way. I got to say that. Read on.
Verse 19. Let her be as a loving hind and pleasant roe. Let her breast satisfy thee at all times and be thou ravished always with her love.
You always got to be ravished with her perpetually. When you feel the fire going down, blaze it up again. The gas finish, get more gas, throw it on there, light the fire and blaze it up again. Because fire die down after a while. Once you're married to somebody for long enough, the fire dies. But because the fire dies doesn't mean you have to let it out. Keep the fire blazing. All right? So you got to give her love, give her affection, tend to her physical needs. And then also, women open up to you more when they realize that you're supporting things that they want to do. All right? Good. So you got to pick and choose and know which works for your family dynamic. Give me Ecclesiastes 9 and verse 9. I'm not saying entreat every idea that she wants to. I'm just saying pick and choose. You're the head of the house. Start acting like it. You're the man. Start acting like it. Pick and choose which things that, she would like to bring on stream that will work for the family dynamic. All right, but just don't be like, well, no, you can't do nothing. She gonna feel like, okay, well, he don't want to value me, appreciate anything I got to bring to the table. Ecclesiastes 9 and verse 19.
Reading from the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9 and verse
9 and verse 9. Yes. Yes, 9 and verse 9.
Reading from the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9 and verse 9. Live joyfully with the wife whom thou lovest all the days of thy life, of thy vanity, which he had given thee under the sun, all the days of thy vanity. For that is thy portion in this life, and in thy labor which thou hast taken under the sun.
So you know anything about vanity? It's fleeting, right? So You got to enjoy the moment now with your wife. You got to enjoy that time now with the wife of your youth. You got to enjoy her now, because guess what? After the time is spent, you can't get back the time. Love her today. Give her affection today. Comfort her today. Now, don't wait for tomorrow. Because when it comes to vanity, vanity is fleeting. Love her in this moment. Show her you appreciate her in this moment. And treat her in this moment. Really show her you care in this moment. If you do that, and you be consistent with that, right? And you have a good balance of that, she will realize there's nothing to be afraid of. Let me fully submit to this guy. Submit to this guy. Submit to this brother. Otherwise than that, she won't. In her mind, there's another brother who's willing to do the things that you won't. But it's just the way women been wired to think. All right? Not saying they're going to do it, especially for women in the truth. They may fantasize about it, but, you know, that's another story. Whether they do it or they don't do it. Okay. So the second to last thing of why she won't submit is you are not a dependable brother. You're not dependable. You don't follow through with responsibilities, and you're always making excuses instead of solving problems. Men, listen up real quick. Your wives want you to be a problem solver, not an excuse maker. A lot of brothers, they make excuses, and they leave the woman to handle everything alone. Give me Proverbs 25 and verse 19. Proverbs 25 and verse 19. Trust me, you don't want this on your report. Being a brother you just cannot, you can't depend on. Come on, read that.
Reading from the book of Proverbs, chapter 25 and verse 19. Confidence in an unfaithful man in time of trouble.
In time of trouble, time of need. Listen, she needs you the most when time of trouble comes. Read on.
Is like a broken tooth.
It's like a broken tooth. You can't chew on that. It's going to break. It's going to fall out. Come on.
And a foot out of joint.
And a foot that's out of place or out of joint. You can't walk on it, because if you walk on it, it's going to pop out. Right? So now, one of the worst things to have as a husband, well, as a wife, sorry. As a wife, one of the worst things to have is an undependable husband. He's just, you can't depend on him for nothing. He say he gonna do something, he just don't follow through with it. That's like having faith in a chipped tooth, a broken tooth, or foot that's out of place. You don't have a leg to stand on. There's no confidence in it. It's going to disappoint you every time. And brothers, listen to me closely. When you become such a disappointment to your wife, and she realizes that this man just won't change, she mentally checks out. A woman done with you long in her head, long time before she's actually done with you on paper or walks out of the relationship. She's done with you. Right? So brothers, you got to work on being more dependable. Let your yeah be yeah, follow through. Right? Mean what you say and do what you say you're going to do. Follow through. Don't make promises you can't keep. Be a man of your word. Be circumspect. Walk right. Be honest. Don't be a crash out king. Take control of your emotions. Stop being a babbler and talking all the time so much. Know when to speak. A wise man knows when to speak. If your wife says, don't want to deal with it right now, be like, no problem, babe. We'll reconvene at a later time. Don't always feel like now is the time. No may not be the time. A wise man looketh for the opportunity. Right? Be financially responsible. Get some life insurance. Get some health insurance. Protect your wives. Protect your children. If you fall sick tomorrow, how will the family earn money? Your family up Schitt's Creek. And you know when you up Schitt's Creek, if you up Schitt's Creek now, and you say, well, how worse can it get? Oh, well, try the Mosai, you will see something. Try him. You will see it can get worse. Your job is to protect her and your family. If you don't have children, start planning. All right, just a little sidebar. Now, if you don't have children and you're married, the Bible says to be fruitful and multiply. You have to, you must. If you already have children, you've already been fruitful and multiplied, right? You know, you could plan when that next one is coming, but ultimately it's up to the Lord. He chooses when that next baby coming. But if you don't have children, you must. That's the commandment. You must multiply. Okay? Good. You must. So here's the final one. All right? And before I hit the final one, again, please, brothers, let me stress on, be dependable. Be someone you can depend on. All right? Instead of giving excuses, solve the problems. Be a problem solver in the marriage. Okay? Stop leaving her to handle everything alone. That's not being a man of integrity. Good. The final one is you disrespect her, you talk down to her, you embarrass her in public, you dismiss her feelings, you act very controlling, or you treat her like a piece of property, like you're walking all over her like a doormat. That's not loving her. You're not treating her like a spouse. You're not treating her like a partner. Give me Ephesians 5 and verse 28. You're not treating her like a partner. You're treating her like a doormat. You disrespect her. You call her out of her name. You talk down to her. You embarrass her in public. That's the worst thing you could do. That woman ain't gonna never. If you don't correct this woman, she could submit to you 90%, but that other 10%, she ain't giving that over to you. Ephesians 5 and 28, read down to 32.
Reading from the book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 28. So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife, loveth himself.
Good. So you love yourself when you love your wife, or let's put it this way. You're supposed to love her the way you love you. But if you're treating her the way you wouldn't want to be treated, you're treating her the way you wouldn't want anyone to disrespect you, would you? You don't want anyone to call you out of your name, would you? You wouldn't want anyone to talk down to you, treat you like a little boy, or treat you how. But why do you do it to her? The same way you want to be treated, why are you doing it to her? Then expect her to submit to you. It don't work that way. Read on.
Verse 29. For no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but nourished it and cherished it, even as the Lord, the church.
So no man ever hated his own flesh. If you don't want someone to deal unscrupulously with you, why would you do it to your wife? But then turn around and expect your wife to submit to you, to honor you, to show respect unto you, when you don't even do that for her. It's being a hypocrite. It's giving hypocrite. You understand that? So brothers, you can't be that way. A woman naturally respects a man, okay? He stands firm in his purpose. He takes care of his responsibilities, and he leads with wisdom. All right? So, these are just some of the things, brothers, you have to work on if you want her to submit to you more. So don't be like, she's the problem, she's the problem, she's the problem. Because a lot of brothers, when you go down this list, they're committing more than half of these things they're doing wrong. But then they're wondering, they're thinking it's her. Nah, it's her, man. Listen, man, my wife don't submit to me because she wicked, man. She wicked. But guess what the scriptures say about a wicked woman? Who could tell me? A wicked woman is given as a portion unto a what?
What's that? A wicked man. It says, give me that in the book of Sirach before we close out. Because a lot of brothers, man, they're like, no, she's the problem. Right? She's the problem. Ecclesiasticus 26 and 23. All right? Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach, 26 and 23.
Reading from the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 26 and verse 23.
Nah, she wicked, right? Watch this.
A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man.
But brother, if she being wicked is because there's things on this list that you're not taking accountability for. Listen closely. God gave you that woman to be wicked to you because there's things on this list you're not fixing. Read on.
But a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord.
If you fear the Lord and you're doing the things that you're supposed to be doing, but the thing is, Soldier Gabar, a lot of brothers be like, well, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. No, you're not. No, you're not. I don't know who teaching you, but it ain't me. Because if I was teaching you, you would go back over these classes and realize, oh, there's things that I'm missing. So whoever you watching or listening to, that can't be me. That's somebody impersonating me. It's not me. So a wicked woman is given unto a wicked man. Your wife is wicked because what? Say it, brothers. Your wife is wicked because you're wicked. Nah, Cap, I ain't wicked. Yeah, you are. Nah, Cap, I'm good. You a crash out king. You wicked. Nah, Cap, but you got psychopath thoughts. Thoughts of being a psychopath. You're impatient, right? You deal with your wife unscrupulously. Yeah, you're wicked. You're not looking at you. So we always tell brothers, before you go off calling her wicked. Now, we're not denying that she might be wicked. She might be wicked. But understand, she's wicked because you're wicked. And if it so happens that the Lord doesn't want the both of y'all together, then he will cause something to happen where y'all not. That's just what it is. All right? So, honorable mention, before we close out, another reason why your wife may not want to submit to you is because she's a dragon. So, the reason why we didn't put that to the top is because most brothers would quickly run to that and ignore all the things about themselves that need urgent attention. They might just run to, she's a dragon, she's a dragon, she's a dragon. But here's the thing. The reason why I left that for the last is because, yes, she might be a dragon, but you're allowing her to be a dragon. And you're condoning her being a dragon. Because the scriptures let you know how to deal with a woman that's a dragon. And if she continues to be a dragon, the scriptures let you know what you got to do. Give her time to repent. If she don't repent, it says you could cut her off from your flesh. But you have to be the example in the house. All those 10 things that we listed over, you have, let's put it this way. The pot has no credence calling the kettle black if you didn't fix these things in your life before you could call her a dragon. So yes, while she may be a dragon, you have no leg to stand on calling her a dragon if you yourself are what? You wicked. That's Matthew 7. Judge not lest you be judged. So you can't call her a dragon if you're doing the same or worse. Or you gonna call her a dragon but you're a crash out king. But I mean y'all go hand in hand. She a dragon and you're a crash out king. Both of y'all live happily together after, walk together in the sunset, walk off, movie end. You the crash out king, she the dragon. That sound like a match made in heaven, right? But brother, the reason why she's the way she is, it has a lot to do with the way you are, all right? Because a righteous man is going to steer his marriage aright, properly, all right? So, we're going to end it there today. We want to thank you each and every one of you for joining us. Now, next week we on the sisters. This week was the brothers. So sisters, we coming for you next week, all right? We had to go in on the brothers today. You know, all things, you know, proper balance. So next week we're going to cover, sisters, why this man does not respect you and doesn't want to honor you, and in a lot of cases doesn't want to be with you. We're going to touch on that next week. So sisters, you don't want to miss that, because we're going to go over all the things that you may be doing that's turning this man off. All right? So y'all sat here, y'all listened to all the things that the brothers got to change. Sisters, next week, this is just for you. You want to be a part of that. All right? So you can change. It's about making adjustments and changing. All praises. So, with that, we're going to close out. We want to thank you for joining us. Be sure to give your alms, your donations, your offerings. We got the PayPal for those overseas. We got the MoBanking for those who are here locally. All right. The Lord loves a cheerful giver. Be sure to give with the Most High Spirit, whatever He put on your spirit to give. All right. Do we have any questions in the comment section? Really quickly, check the comment section really quickly. Okay, no comments in the comments section. All right, all praises. That means everyone understands everything. That means you shouldn't have any question in your mind, brothers, as to why your wife just won't 100% commit or submit. All right? Good. All praises. Shalom. See you on the next one next week.